morning. I welcome you to this session of thermodynamics. Last session we were discussing about the entropy, just how the entropy was defined. What we first recognized that integral of del q by t for a reversible cycle is 0, where del q is an infinite small amount of heat added to a system in a process, and T is the temperature at which the heat is added, and the cyclic integral over a reversible cycle is 0. That means, if we write this, last time there was a confusion that I used d, that is not a perfect differential, that to represent a infinite small amount. Since q is not a point function, better write del q, which I used earlier, divided by t over a reversible cycle. That means, either you write here or you write here r. That means, over a reversible cycle is 0, cyclic integral is 0, that we recognize. Just I again repeat, how did we do that? We took a reversible engine, reversible heat engine, we did it like this, which takes heat from a thermal reservoir at temperature T1 in absolute thermodynamic scale of temperature, which takes heat Q1, and similarly which rejects heat Q2 to an thermal reservoir at a temperature T2, where T1 is greater than T2, just recapitulation of the earlier thing, and obviously delivering work equals to Q1 minus Q2. And here from the, if it is a reversible engine, then by definition of the temperatures in absolute thermodynamic temperature scale, we can write that Q1 by Q2 is equal to T1 by T2. So that Q1 by T1 one can write minus Q2 by T2, which gives this algebraic sum or cyclic integral, as you tell, that del Q by T is equal to 0, provided this is a reversible cycle. This we prove. So, this particular engine where the heat is added at a constant temperature, that means the system which executes the cyclic process undergoes an isothermal process of heat addition, reversible isothermal process of heat addition. Similarly, reversible isothermal process of heat rejection, which can be represented as a Carnot cycle, as I told, in a pressure volume diagram like this, that one isothermal. That means, this block diagram of the engine can be represented in a as a cyclic diagram in PV coordinates like this. These are the process A, B, C, D. In this process, heat is being added Q1, and substantially the temperature remains constant. So, an isothermal process of heat addition and rejections T1 and T2. This can be represented. These two processes are adiabatic process, where delta Q is equal to 0. So, this proof can be made also, very simple logic, for a engine, for an engine which is not taking heat at an isothermal conditions. That means, other way we can tell that in any thermodynamic coordinate, let us consider PV, any closed loop we can consider as a thermodynamic cycle, where heat is being added. For example, this part of this cycle heat is being added, and some other part of this cycle heat is being rejected. Any arbitrary closed loop can be thought of a cycle. Okay, it is not necessarily always the temperature has to be constant in heat addition, heat rejection. So, we can prove this way. This is one another very important thing, that any closed cycle, reversible cycle, can be divided into a number of elementary Rankine cycle. How we can construct a number of adiabatic processes very closely spaced like this, and similarly number of isotherms like that, number of isotherms. Now, these are the isotherms like that. That means, we can divide this closed loop into a number of elementary Carnot cycles by drawing number of adiabates and number of isothermals closely spaced, so that this becomes an elementary Carnot cycles, where we can consider heat is being taken. Let this temperature is T1. This is a small part where the temperature can be considered as constant T1, that is the temperature at this location, and let the heat taken is delta Q1. And similarly, this temperature is T2 and heat rejected is delta Q2. Again for this elementary Carnot cycle, this cycle, this elementary Carnot cycle, let the heat taken is delta Q1 dash and the temperature is T1 dash. Similarly, for this one the heat rejected is delta Q2 dash and the temperature is T2 dash. Similarly, we can consider another elemental cycle here where the heat addition is delta Q1 double dash and the temperature T1 double dash. This is the temperature here. Similarly, here also delta Q2 double dash at the temperature T2 double dash and so on. Infinite number of elemental Carnot cycles. For each cycle, if it is a reversible cycle, because Carnot cycles we can write delta Q1 by T1. For example, this one is equal to delta Q2, a simple proof, it is school level, delta Q1 dash, because for another cycle T1 dash, the next elementary cycle delta Q2 dash by T2 dash. Similarly, delta Q1 double dash T1 double dash, simple logic, delta Q2. So, if you add up, then we will get sigma of delta Q1 by T1 is equal to sigma of, this is reversible cycle. So, this I write by the definition of the temperature in absolute thermodynamic scale. So, that cyclic integral of del Q. So, ultimately I can prove for any cycle, not necessarily the temperature of heat addition or rejection has to be constant, but if it is a reversible cycle, the cyclic integral delta Q by T, if it is reversible, is 0. This we proved, and when cyclic integral of any parameter is 0, that parameter can be expressed as a differential of a point function. Now, before that we can tell this can be visualized in practice by a block diagram like that. If this be the heat engine, okay, I am not drawing it as circular as I did earlier. However, then we can consider a infinite number of small reservoirs, as I already discussed earlier, that how one can conceive a, these are the thermal reservoirs, these are the thermal reservoirs T1, T1 plus DT1, that is T1 dash, that is T1 double dash, all are infinite small difference with each other. That means number of reservoirs, that means the working fluid or the working medium in the heat engine in the process of heat addition has to be in contact with infinite reservoirs. Similar is the case when it rejects the heat, we have to conceive of a infinite number of thermal reservoirs, so that the working fluid or the working system will be in contact with all the reservoirs in succession for a reversible heat rejection. Why? Because always the heat addition or heat rejection process, that means heat transfer process, should take place under an infinite small temperature difference for a reversible heat transfer process to be accomplished. So, this is the conception. So, with this concept one can draw a closed loop and can divide it into a number of elemental cycles. That means one takes heat from this reservoir and reject heats in this reservoir. Another one is T1 dash, T2 dash, that means we can divide the engine into a number of elemental Carnot cycles and we can prove this thing. So, therefore, what is of our use is, it is not of much importance that how do you prove it, this is a logic, but the most important thing is the information, that means the cyclic integral of dq by T in a reversible process is 0, which means that the integral of dq by T in a process is, in a reversible process, is a point function, is not, that means this is equal to delta S. That means we can write this as cyclic integral of d of differential of point function, this is entropy, this is the delta S. So, that if we define two states which is connected by a reversible process, then that becomes is equal to S2 minus S1. That means the integral of dq by T in any reversible process connecting two fixed states are dependent on state points, that means S2 minus S1. It does not depend on the type of the reversible processes or the nature of the reversible processes, which we can show it like this, that if there are two states, for example A 1 for example 1 and another is 2, and if we connect them by reversible processes, different reversible processes, we can conceive of different, all processes are reversible, but different reversible processes. Let this is R A, let this reversible process R B, this reversible process R C, all are accomplished like that. Then what this information gives, that delta Q R by T is the change of a point function. That means through 1 and 2 it is S2 S1, that means S2 is fixed with this point, it is the state variables S1. That means one can write this 1 to 2 via R A here dq or delta q. I am writing delta q, better follow delta q. I am sorry, I am writing delta q, so better you follow delta q, better you write delta q, better you write delta q. So that delta q by T is equal to integration of 1 to 2 via the process R B delta q by T, all reversible process, I am not writing R again, is equal to 1 to 2 R C delta q by T. That means the integration of delta q by T, if it is performed through a reversible process, it does not depend upon the type of the reversible process, because it is a point function, but process has to be reversible. That means if there are number of reversible processes connecting between the same state points, then the integral delta q by T via the reversible process, by any of the reversible process, will remain same, and that is defined as the change of entropy between the two states. Now the question comes, sir, if I conceive number of irreversible processes on the other hand, then what happens? For example, if we consider a number of irreversible processes, rather reversible processes I can show by farm line, number of irreversible processes which should be shown as dotted line, first one I draw like that, does not matter. That means this red one are the irreversible processes A, B and C, these are the irreversible paths. In that case, the question comes, then how do you define entropy? Entropy's definition is this, unique. That means this equates the delta q by T via reversible process. This does not equate the change of entropy via the quantity delta q by T via an irreversible process. That is number one concept. That means only this integral delta q by T via a reversible process is a point function. Therefore, the entropy change between 2 points is defined in terms of the heat quantity and the temperature in this manner via only a reversible process. This is because for all reversible processes this quantity remains constant, and this gives the definition of entropy. This is clear. Now the question comes, what is the value? Now this question comes, what is the value of cyclic integral of dq by T? After this the concept for an irreversible process. I am not writing R, that means for an irreversible process. So what is the value of, sorry again I am writing the delta q, confusion, delta q by T for an irreversible process. Now the question comes that what is this value of a cyclic process for an irreversible process, irreversible cycle, and what is this value? This, before going to prove, I must first tell you the information. The answer to this question was given by Clausius and is known as Clausius inequality. That means, what is the value of the counterpart quantity delta q by T over an irreversible cycle, and next what is the value of this counterpart delta q by T in an irreversible process, not a cycle. What are those things? Are they equal to the counterpart irreversible process, or even if they are not equal, then what happens? Are they less or greater than the counterpart? This query to this question was answered by Clausius and are known as Clausius inequality. Clausius inequality, known as Clausius inequality. What is this? First thing is this, Clausius inequality tells that cyclic integral of delta q by T for an irreversible process is less than its counterpart for a reversible process. This is the information. First you take the information, very important, less than cyclic integral. That means what? This leads, because this I know 0. So, I can write that cyclic integral delta q by t for any irreversible cycle, that means for a natural cyclic process, must be less than 0, because this is 0 I know. So, when this is 0, less than 0 means next is that obviously delta q by t for any process, it is less than 0, that means it is not equal to 0, that means this is not a point function. Understand? Which means that 1 to 2 via a process A not equal to 1 to 2 via a process B, not equal to 1 to 2 via a process C. That means when it is not 0, either greater or less, it cannot be a point function. That means this integral is not a point function, not a point function, not a point function. That means integral del q by t is not a point function in case of an irreversible process. That means it varies from process to process. In case of an reversible process, this was 0, so this became the point function. Then obviously when this is less than its counterpart, similarly for a process also delta q by t is less than its counterpart delta q by t in a reversible process, which means that delta q by t, this quantity in any process is less than the delta s, because this is defined as delta s, which means for a process connecting point 1 and 2, delta q by t is obviously less than the counterpart of this for the process connecting the state points 1 and 2, which means that 1 to 2 delta q by t is less than equal to S2 minus S1. Now, if there are two state points, delta q by t varies from process to process if they are irreversible processes. But if they are reversible processes, this quantity remain the same, and that is the definition of the entropy change between the two state points. Then what is the value of delta q by t for any path that is less than equal to the change in entropy? That means less than equal to the corresponding value between the same state points by a reversible path. So, this information was furnished by Clausius and it is known as Clausius inequality. I again repeat it, that integral delta q by t in a reversible cycle is less than its counterpart quantity for a reversible cycle. Integral delta q by t for an irreversible cycle is less than its counterpart for a reversible cycle, and therefore, this is less than equal to 0, because this is 0. So, therefore, cyclic integral del q by t for any natural cycle is less than 0. It is very, very important. And if it is so, then obviously one can prove that delta q by t for any natural process is less than its counterpart in a reversible process, which means since this is the definition of change in entropy, that means delta q by t in an irreversible process is less than the change of entropy. It is more easily visualized if you connect the two state points, then 1 to 2 delta q by t for a natural process or an irreversible process is less than its counterpart via an ideal or reversible process, which is nothing but the change in the entropy between the state point. And at the same time, automatically it is a byproduct that these natural processes, this quantity varies from process to process or path to path, they are not constant, not a point function. Is it clear? Now, I can again come to this. So, therefore, now you see that if you can consider two classes of process, one is a reversible process RA, RB, RC. There are number of reversible process, one category of processes, another are natural or irreversible processes. Now, you see thing is like this, the quantity delta q by t connecting these two for path A, for path B, these are all different. These are all different. These are all different. But even the maximum value amongst all these natural processes conceivable should be less than the unique value rendered by all reversible processes connecting the two state points, which is defined as the change in entropy. That is uniquely specified by all reversible processes, whereas the integral del q by t connecting two state points are varying from process to process if the processes are natural, but the maximum one is still less than the unique value specified by all reversible processes connecting these two state points. This point is clear. So, therefore, the change of entropy does not depend upon whether the process is reversible or irreversible. or even the process is reversible, what type of reversible processes? Because all reversible processes give the same value of del q by T, and that equals to is change in entropy. So, change in entropy relates heat and temperature only for a reversible process, but not for a irreversible process. In irreversible process, only an inequality relationship is known, that this quantity for any irreversible or natural process is less than the change in entropy of the process, connecting the two state points. Okay. Now, next I will go to the Clausius inequality proof. Now, how do you prove this Clausius inequality? Again, very simple. If you take the similar way, two heat engines, one is a reversible, well, another is irreversible, natural. Two heat engines and working between the same temperature. Again I take the constant temperature. Now, the reversible engine I take Q1R and Q2R. Here for irreversible engine Q1 and Q2. Q1 may be equal to Q1R or may not be. Here for this proof it is not always necessary. This develop WR, which is the difference between Q1R minus Q2R. This is W, which is difference between Q1 minus Q2. WR, this always you should write, so that always the first law is being brushed up. Q1R, it is a good habit of writing everything even if it is not required, Q1 minus Q. So, how can I prove here? The cyclic integral of del Q by T, for this irreversible cycle is less than its counterpart. That means less than 0, because already I know this has been proved that cyclic integral of del Q R by T is 0, already proved. So, what philosophy or what statement of the second law I will utilize here? That please tell. What? Efficiency, very good. So, efficiency of an irreversible engine is less than that of a reversible engine. Very good. So, what is the efficiency of this engine? Efficiency of this engine is 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Very good. Where efficiency of a reversible engine eta R is what? 1 minus Q2R by Q1R. Very good. And we know that efficiency of this natural engine is less than eta. So, Carnot's theorem. That means this will be greater than this. If we make the reciprocal, means Q1 by Q2 again will be less than Q2R by, these are very simple, Q1R. And by the definition of T1 T2 in the absolute thermodynamic scale, this is nothing but T1 by T2. Just a minute, T2, oh sorry, Q1R, sorry, Q2R, T1 by T2. So, Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2 is less than 0. So, cyclic integral delta Q by T less than 0. Very simple proof. Any question, please? What happened? Oh, for this correction, I am sorry, for this correction, yes. Q1 by Q, this is less than this. That means this quantity is greater than this quantity. Again, I make the reciprocal, so that Q1 by Q2 is less than Q1R by Q2R. I am sorry. So, Q1R by Q2R is by the definition of the absolute thermodynamic scale of temperature is T1 by T2. So, that one can prove it. This proof also can be done via the elementary cycles. So, I am not going to do it. That means via the elementary cycle also you can prove, if you consider the cycle in general where the heat is not being transferred at constant temperatures, neither the heat addition nor the heat rejection process, then you can write for an irreversible cycle that delta Q1 by T1 is not equal to delta Q2 by T2, comparing the reversible and irreversible cycles, and then we can add up, and in the similar fashion you can prove that the efficiency of delta Q by T for a cyclic integral for an irreversible cycle is less than 0. So, I am not going to prove that, it is very simple. So, this is the way one can prove. So, the information again is that the Clausius inequality delta Q by T for an irreversible cycle is less than 0. Now, after this I will tell you that therefore, what we get, that delta S is equal to integral of delta q by t in a reversible process. All right. Now, question is that an irreversible process does not interact with the surrounding in terms of heat transfer. That means there is an irreversible process, for example, adiabatic process. What is an adiabatic process? No heat transfer. But whether it is reversible or irreversible, we do not know. If it is simply told that it is an adiabatic process, it may be a reversible adiabatic process also. Then we cannot equate that, tell that delta S is equal to 0. Okay. If the process is reversible, then only we can tell that delta S is equal to 0. That means you consider a reversible very important adiabatic process. Let us consider a reversible adiabatic process. What is reversible adiabatic process? What is an adiabatic process? Delta Q is 0 and the process is reversible. That means delta Q R is equal to 0. That means this delta Q I can equate with the entropy. So, therefore, this becomes is equal to delta Q delta S is equal to 0. That means S is constant. If you have any query, please ask me. Please. Hello. Do you have any query? Why do you talk? You ask me. So, S is equal to constant. That means a reversible adiabatic process is a reversible adiabatic process is constant entropy process. Adiabatic process. A reversible adiabatic process is equal to constant entropy process, which is known as isentropic process. It is clear? Isentropic process. Okay. Then next is, how do you prove that is clear that a reversible adiabatic process is an isentropic process. But what is for an irreversible adiabatic process? Before that, again I come back to this initial thing that we have already proved that cyclic integral of delta Q by T is less than 0. That means the counterpart 0 is what? That is counterpart in a reversible cycle, which I have proved. But it is also simple to prove that this information that delta Q by T in any process is less than their counterpart in reversible process. How to prove it? This proof is also simple. When this is proved, this less than 0, this counterpart in a, then this proof is very simple, that you take two state points, join one reversible path R A going from 1 to 2. While it comes back, let us consider another reversible path R B and join it by another irreversible path, natural path, that is simply B. Now, this R A and R B constitute a reversible cycle, so that delta Q by T in path R A, that means we can write 1 R A 2 plus delta Q by T 1 R B 2 is 0. Very simple proof, but I have to do it. Very good. I am very happy. 2 1 R B. Very good. 2 R B 0. But I have already proved this. That means for an irreversible cycle, what it will be? Now, R A and B is an irreversible cycle. Why? Because for a reversible cycle, all processes have to be reversible. So, if any one process is irreversible, cycle is irreversible. So, therefore, this cycle consisting of one reversible process R A and this back process or the reverse process irreversible B constitutes an irreversible cycle. So, for this cycle, this will be 1 to 2 R A plus 2 B 1 del Q by T is less than 0. Now, from here I can replace this 1 to 2 means minus 2 to 1, minus 2 to 1, that means minus 2 R B 1 del Q by T is equal to, or plus, first you write this 2 B 1 del q by t is less than 0. Which means that the integral 2 to 1 via the natural process or irreversible process is less than the counterpart via the reversible process. So, now I prove this statement. So, I am in a position to prove this is very simple, which means that this is proved. That means for a given process or a path, this value over an irreversible path is less than its counterpart, and counterpart is defined as delta S, so that integral of delta q by t is less than delta S. Again and again I am telling, because the confusion is here only. All right, this proof is all right. Now question is that if it is an irreversible adiabatic process, it is the most natural, all natural adiabatic processes are irreversible. So, it is very easy to conceive irreversible adiabatic process. For example, there is a mass of gas, high temperature and pressure within a piston and cylinder, totally insulate the piston and cylinder, no heat transfer will take place. You expand the piston fast, not at an extremely slow rate, rather that is impossible to approach to a quasi-equilibrium or quasi-static process. Normal processes are fast, that means there will be friction, there will be mechanical dissipation, the process is irreversible, but adiabatic. Another simple example, you take a mass of fluid in a container, fully insulated, static mass of fluid, you stir the fluid. That means you make an work transfer, that is known as paddle wheel work. And by virtue of friction, the work transfer will take place and it will cause the temperature of the fluid to rise. But no heat will be allowed to flow because of the insulation. That means it is an adiabatic process, but irreversible adiabatic process. So, these are the examples that irreversible adiabatic processes, which are the natural processes. In that case, what happens, that is true that for the process is del q 0, but the process is irreversible. So, I cannot equate delta S of the process, but I know the Clausius inequality that delta S of the process will be greater than delta q by t, because this is the Clausius inequality in an integral delta q by t, or in differential form you can write ds is greater than dq by t. Because Clausius inequality, this is less than this, I am writing other way, delta S is greater than. That means the change in entropy is like this, then for an adiabatic process this is 0. So, delta S is greater than 0, or ds in a differential form is greater than. That means if the process is adiabatic but not a reversible one, its entropy must increase. That means delta is always greater than 0. Delta S is defined as the change in entropy, which is the del q by t in a reversible process. That means physically it tells like that, if you cause an irreversible adiabatic process, when the process changes from one system to other system, if you could have thought of this change between these two states by a reversible process, which could have definitely taken heat. You understand it? That is the physical concept, that this is a very simple conclusion, that delta S for an reversible adiabatic process is always greater than 0. Clear? Because delta q by t is less than delta S from the Clausius inequality. So, delta is always greater than 0, because this is 0 for an irreversible adiabatic process, which means that connecting the two state points for an irreversible adiabatic process, if we could have conceived an reversible process, that could not be adiabatic, rather that could be a process which could have demanded heat from the surroundings, for which the entropy has increased. Very simple understanding, that you stir a mass of water in an insulated bath, its temperature will rise. This is an irreversible process. You cannot stir, you cannot perform the work until and unless there is a friction, the friction dissipation is there. But the similar rise in temperature you could have done by a reversible process, then you could have slowly transferred heat into the system. So, therefore, that is a rise in entropy. So, that is the physical concept, and this comes directly as a mathematical consequence, that an irreversible adiabatic process delta S is greater than 0. All right. Now, is a very interesting thing, that if delta S is greater than 0, now if delta S is greater than 0 for an irreversible adiabatic process, I can write then delta S is greater than integral of del q by t. What is mean? That same, the Clausius inequality, that means delta S is greater than del q by t. Again I am coming to Clausius inequality, delta S for any process is greater than del q by t. Clear? Always greater than del q by t or equals to, you can tell that if it is a reversible process then it is equal, or delta S is always greater than. That means for any process entropy change, now I can write, that means I combine the definition of entropy and the Clausius inequality for a process as delta S is greater than is equal to del q by t. When this will be a reversible process, then equality sign will hold good. If it is an irreversible process, then greater than. I can write this as t plus some positive quantity x, because it is greater than this, so I can write like this. Okay? This is actually represented like this. This is delta S E plus delta S I. In irreversible thermodynamics, this is expressed in this fashion, that change of entropy of a system is composed of change of entropy due to heat transfer plus a change of entropy due to internal irreversibility. This part is internal irreversibility. This is because of the heat transfer. That means for any process. Now you see that the delta q by t for an irreversible process has not been given the status of entropy change, because it is not a point function. So it is always less than the entropy change, or entropy change is always greater than this quantity. That means if I make an equality by a number x which is greater than 0, and then I give a definition to this quantity for an irreversible process delta q by t, a name, that is the entropy change due to external irreversibility, which is nothing but the counterpart of del q by t in a natural process. Then in natural process there is an heat transfer, I can tell the integral del q by t as the entropy change due to external irreversibility, but that may not be the sole entropy change, then the entire definition will collapse. That means this has to be added with some other positive quantity to satisfy the Clausius inequality. This is defined as the change of entropy due to internal reversibility. So I must write this thing. This is known as change of entropy due to external irreversibility. Why I write this word external irreversibility? This is because of the heat transfer through a finite temperature difference, and this is the change of entropy. This is another fashion of writing this from irreversible thermodynamics point of view, change of entropy due to internal irreversibility. All right. Now you see that it is okay. Now for a reversible process, delta Si is 0. That means this change of entropy due to internal irreversibility, there is no irreversibility. But if a reversible process there is an heat transfer, that means process is diabatic. That means a diabatic reversible process, a reversible process with heat interaction, then entropy change is exactly equal to delta AC. That means delta Q. That means this defines the entropy as this definition came into picture. But it is a reversible process, that is 0. All right. On the other hand, if it is an adiabatic process, then this part is 0. For an adiabatic process, for a reversible process delta, therefore for a reversible I write again for a reversible, therefore for a reversible diabatic process, for a reversible delta S I 0, for a reversible diabatic process, diabatic means what? That means with heat transfer, delta S is equal to delta E, that means equal to delta Q by T. All right. Now all right, you can see, no you cannot see, okay. You can see this step, okay. Then for an irreversible adiabatic process, which one will be 0? Delta S E is 0, this is 0, this delta Q by T is 0, but delta S E is 0, but delta S I is greater than 0. That means there is a change of entropy due to irreversibility. That means if you stir a liquid, totally insulated, entropy increases. If you expand a gas fast rate or compress the gas in a piston cylinder or in any expansion compression device with fully insulated, then there is a increase of entropy because of this delta S I. That means this portion, that means change of entropy due to internally reversible. Now, if the process is both reversible and adiabatic, then both this term will be 0 and delta S will be 0. Clear?
So can we define entropy for an irreversible process? So we found that the definition of
Definition of entropy, that is the basic question so far what I have told. Definition of entropy is through an reversible process, but is defined for any process. Don't have this confusion that definition of entropy is for a reversible process. Again and again I am telling. So, what example I gave you, that if there is an irreversible process, the entropy change is defined by del Q by T for a reversible process. That means if the same state points could have been connected by a reversible process, what could have been the value of this? That is the entropy change. That means the entropy change between the two state points are defined. You understand? And to define that, we always take a reversible process. That is by definition, through a reversible path. Try to understand, that is very simple. This example I gave you so that all confusions will go, that if change of entropy is between 2 points, it is not for a process. Change of internal energy is between 2 state points, is not for a process. So, any process is performed between these 2 state points, the change of entropy will remain same. But if you have to find out the value of this entropy change from the heat transfer quantities, then you will have to conceive of a reversible process, and then you can find out the integral of del Q by T for that reversible process, and then you can tell this is the entropy change, whether it is a reversible or irreversible. Just very simple example I gave, that there is a mass of liquid. You start the liquid, its state point is changed. That means its temperature is increased. So, there is a change in entropy. But how do you measure this entropy? If you want to equate this entropy with the heat interactions of the process, then you are at an erroneous result. Then heat interaction is 0 in this process, only work is transferred, that is the paddle wheel work. But entropy is changed, entropy is increased. From the Clausius inequality also you get there is an increase in entropy, because there will be an heat transfer if this state can be changed by a reversible process, then you have to apply heat. You have understood? That means always to calculate the entropy, you have to connect the 2 state points via a reversible process, and then only you can find out the integral del Q by T, which is ascribed as the change in the entropy between the 2 state points, whatever may be the process. Change of a point function is never defined for a process. The definition of entropy change for a process is a rubbish statement. Change in internal energy, it is a point function. You have understood? Change in potential energy never defined by a process or by a path whereby you go. Change in potential energy in any conservative force field is defined from point to point. Change in potential energy between this point and that point in a conservative force field. Nobody tells via the path. Okay. Oh, the concept of external irreversibility and internal irreversibility, okay, I can explain it again, that we know that delta S, the change of entropy of any process is greater than del Q by T in general, greater than and is equal to, because Clausius inequality tells that integral of del Q by T for any process is less than the counterpart for a reversible process, which is a point function, which is the delta S. So, this I can write, therefore, delta S is greater than, this is for any process. Okay? That means if I combine this for both reversible and irreversible process, I can write this. That means if the process is reversible, delta S exactly equals to integral delta Q by T. If the process is irreversible, then delta S is greater than this thing. Okay? So, in general, if I consider the process may be irreversible and reversible, I can write this delta S equals to this plus some positive quantity, which is 0 in case of an reversible process. So, in this equality will hold good. Otherwise, this positive quantity will take care of this inequality. Okay? So, this positive quantity is defined as entropy change due to internal irreversibility. And when there is an irreversible process, reversible process, this becomes 0 for a reversible process. So, del S equal to del SE. But for an irreversible process, this component comes into picture. So, there are 3 cases. When is an adiabatic process, there is no heat transfer, so del SE change of entropy due to external irreversibility is 0. That means this part equates the heat transfer for any process, whether reversible or irreversible. That means an adiabatic process, heat transfer part is 0, so delta SE is 0. In that case only delta SI is there, because for irreversible process delta SI is 0. So, two things are very important for irreversible process. Delta SI is the greater than 0. So, therefore, the change in entropy due to an irreversible adiabatic process is contributed by this only. All right? Okay. Now, next what we can discuss is that the isentropic process. Now, we have seen that entropy is a very useful concept, and isentropic process is a process where the process which is reversible and adiabatic. Now, if I draw a curve in TS plane 1 to 2, let us consider a process 1 to 2. If I represent the process, a reversible process in TS diagram, then TS diagram is useful, that if it is a reversible process, then we know that delta Q by T, if it is a reversible process, is ds. So, therefore, delta Q is T ds. So, therefore, Q is integral of T ds from 1 to 2. That means, the area under this curve 1 to 2 represents the heat interactions, this area. The way the PdV curve is important, because the area under the PdV curve gives you the work interactions. Similarly, area under the TS curve gives you the heat interactions. So, therefore, a TS plot is very important, the temperature entropy plot, so that it gives the impression or gives the idea, gives an qualitative idea about the heat interaction processes. Okay. So, next I will say that how you can define the change of entropy now of a system. Now, you see that concept of an isolated system, you come the concept of an isolated system, concept of an isolated system, concept of an isolated system. Okay. Now, what is an isolated system? This system, any question? Yes, please.
Can we absolutely find out the value of entropy, sir?
That I will come afterwards. This is a very relevant question. I told you at the beginning, it is the change of entropy which is defined in terms of delta Q by T. About the absolute entropy, I will discuss afterwards. It is not in this scope, but I will tell you the concept of absolute entropy. But
can we draw the TS diagram then?
so, that is the reference plane. How do you ask this childish question? I do not understand. Whenever I told in internal energy, it is only the change. That means, to ascribe a value of entropy, we will have to keep a reference datum from which the entropy is defined, because we are interested in the heat interactions. I told you earlier also, in case of internal energy also, we are interested in its change, but not in its absolute value. Here also, in case of heat interactions, we are interested in its change. So, therefore, we always consider a reference value of entropy, reference datum, from where we find out a change by a thermodynamic processes. So, that equations are there, we can find out a change. If the datum is 0, so automatically we get an absolute value. But this absolute value is relative to a reference datum, the way we define the potential energy. We take a datum and then we measure the potential energy from that datum. We never measure the potential energy, Earth's potential, gravitational potential energy from the Earth's center where it is 0. But we take a reference datum and we measure the potential energy from that reference datum, so that if we know the change in potential energy, reference datum is 0, we ascribe the value. That way we ascribe the value of the entropy and we plot the entropy in TS plane. So, we are not much interested where that entropy becomes 0, but the concept of entropy 0 comes in the third law of thermodynamics. If you are interested, I will discuss this thing afterwards, or if possible at the end of this section, I will give you some idea where from you get the concept of absolute entropy, which is related to the disorderness of the molecules. Molecules or atoms is the atomic or molecular disorderness. As we approach an absolute 0,
then the absolute entropy of a system approaches 0. But that concept is beyond the scope of this class. So, I do not want to discuss, only we will discuss the change of entropy here, because here we are interested in terms of heat and work interactions. Like the first law, we are interested in the change in internal energy, here also we are interested in the change in entropy. And here you have seen the definition of entropy has evolved through its change only, not its absolute entropy. Okay? It is clear? Concept of an isolated system. Now, what is an isolated system? Isolated system which does not interact with surrounding either in terms of Q or in terms of, that means it is an reversible process. So, what is the alternative? The change delta S of an isolated system, what it will be? Please tell me. It will be 0. Just I tell an isolated system, in general, isolated system, what it will be? Q is 0. Delta S of an isolated system will be greater than or is equal to 0. It equals to 0 provided the change within the isolated system is irreversible, otherwise irreversible. Now, the question comes that why we talk about the change of entropy of an isolated system or change of any property of an isolated system. Isolated system does not interact with the surrounding, but still there is a change of the property, which means a process is taking place within the isolated system. That means there is some readjustment between different parts of the isolated system. Okay? So that some process is taking place within isolated system, within the system, not because of the interaction between the system and the surrounding. If that internal processes are irreversible, then delta is greater than 0. If they are reversible, then delta is equals to 0. This concept of isolated system is like your free body concept in mechanics, which means that if there is a system and if there is another system, one system A and another system B, and they are interacting with each other in terms of heat and work with nothing else. The two systems are mutually interacting with one another. In that case, system B is surrounding to system A and system A is surrounding to system B. Then as a whole, the system A and B comprises an isolated system. So, therefore, henceforth we will refer an isolated system as, what is isolated system? As system plus surroundings, or we can define all interacting systems, all interacting systems taken together, all interacting systems taken together. So, therefore, we see that if all interacting systems taken together as an isolated system, there may be processes, interactions between these systems, all interacting systems are there between one another, and as a whole, if I consider this as an isolated system, the entropy change of this isolated system will increase if the interactions between these systems constituting the isolated systems are reversible, delta is equal to 0, or delta is will be greater than 0, that means entropy will increase if these interactions are irreversible. Okay, this concept is clear. So, therefore, for a system and surrounding, surrounding means is interacting system, one can write that delta S of an isolated system which comprises of delta S system plus delta S surroundings, okay, surroundings must, this is this, or we can write delta S, algebraic sum of delta S, all interacting system, all interacting systems. So, we define delta S, and by this concept delta S isolated system should be either greater than 0 depending upon these interactions between the system and surrounding, or all interacting systems are irreversible or not. If it is reversible, then greater is equal to 0. That means, if the interactions are irreversible, delta S greater than 0 of an isolated system, or delta S is equal to 0 if the interactions are reversible. In a limited sense, these isolated systems are termed in thermodynamics as what? Universe, because we consider, don't ask me the questions whether in true sense the universe is an isolated system or not, but this is a terminology in a limited sense it is used, that as if an universe is an isolated system, so it does not interact with anything outside it, all interactions are within the universe, so that this is in a limited sense used universe, which is nothing but a synonymous term of an isolated system with greater than is equal to 0, and this is known as principle of increase in entropy, principle of increase in entropy. All right, concept is clear? Okay, then thank you.